Greetings, Italian Western fans. This is Eric Zaldivar, and this is your video review of Arriva Sabata, also known as Sabata the Killer and Viva Sabata. The movie stars Anthony Steffen and Eduardo Fajardo, a very difficult name to pronounce, Spanish name to pronounce, and of course Peter Lee Lawrence. The plot revolves around these two bank robbers, Sabata and Mangosta, played by Steffen and Fajardo, who rob this bank, and they get away with very little money. And they find out later that the bank clerk, who's played by Peter Lee Lawrence, there he is, he stole most of their money right from under their noses. So they go to confront Peter, and I think it turns out that he gambles the money away. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but somehow I don't think the money was there when they found him. So Lawrence, in fear for his life, he devises a plan to steal even more cash from his employer, and of course to benefit all three of them, the two bank robbers. They get away with it, and of course his employer isn't very happy about it. The movie came out in 1970, and I believe it came out after the Trinity movie. They Call Me Trinity, a very successful comedy movie. I have reason to believe this came out afterwards, even though I have absolutely no proof whatsoever. The reason being is that this has a heavy dose of comedy in it, and I think this was done to cater to the Trinity audience. So this probably came out a couple months after the Trinity movie, I would say. As far as the film goes, it's not bad. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good, very obscure, I would say, Italian Western. It's pretty fun. The problem with it is the comedy. The comedy is a real problem. It's in the first 40 minutes of the flick. There's a heavy dose of comedy where, stupid sight gags and things. I wouldn't say it's slapsticky like the Trinity movies or its various knockoffs. But it is rather fairly silly, and I'm not really a big fan of the comedy westerns very much. I can stomach the first Trinity movie. The second one's kind of lousy, and I really don't like any of the knockoffs like They Call Me a Man or something. It's absolutely dreadful. This movie, to give you an idea of the comedy in the film, Fajardo knits a poncho like throughout the film in various points. I think they show him doing it like 3 times, and it's, like I said, a bit silly. The real meat of the movie comes in the last 40 minutes, where it gets pretty brutally violent. After the second robbery is pulled off, Peter Lee Lawrence's employer, I think he's the bank president, he hires these ruthless bastards, these bounty hunters, I believe, and they have high-powered shotguns and semi-automatics, and there's this shootout at the end. This is just a mine shootout. What you're seeing, this is like halfway through the flick. There's this shootout for the finale in a hacienda, a large Mexican hacienda, and it gets pretty brutally violent and pretty bloody. There's actually squibs used, which is a rare occasion for this genre. Actually, usually people just get shot and flip around like that, and that's all. That's the last you ever see of them. Or at the most, they'll have a shot of them dead, and you'll see like blood painted on them or something. The movie isn't bad. Like I said, the last 40 minutes are superior to the former 50 minutes, I think. The beginning, the first 40 minutes or so are very draggy, with a lot of stupid comedy in the way, and the last 40 minutes really up the ante on the violence and the shootouts. It also has a very shocking ending, and a downer one at that. I'm not obviously going to give it away, but that's all to say for this flick. It's not bad. I would recommend it to, of course, I would recommend it to aficionados, and of course the diehards who want to get everything will buy it. Newcomers, I'm not so sure. If you're, you get this newcomer and then you're easing him into this genre. Don't show him this first. Show him, much later when he's a fan, or he or she, excuse me. Next review I think will be The Silent Stranger. I'll see you then.